What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Season 2 of NHL 24 Toronto Maple Leafs Franchise Mode Series. Thank you guys so much for support in the first episode. If you wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up on this one as well, I'd really appreciate it. As you guys can see there, we're currently 4-2 through the preseason. Mitch Marner has 9 points in 6 games. Made some pretty big moves after last season. If you guys missed the last episode, I definitely recommend checking it out first. Not only did we not win the Stanley Cup, we didn't even make the playoffs. We were like a bottom 5 team in the league, something like that. I think we actually finished 7th last to be exact. Devils there won the Stanley Cup. Our AHL team, though, did make the playoffs. Actually lost to Belleville in the second round. So hopefully AHL team can do good again, make it with the Calder Cup. NHL team can actually get back in the playoff picture. I'm really hoping that first year was just a fluke. Otherwise, I don't even know what is wrong. So first line, good Matthew Knies, a huge chance here. Only 81 overall. Again, first line minutes, riding shotgun there with Matthews and Marner. Matthews is now at 96, up from a 95. Marner's a 94, up from a 92. You got Nylander there, who's a 92 now, playing with Tavares, who actually dropped him to 86. And Yarncroc, 84 overall for him, only making $2.1 million. It's a great contract. So we'll see how this top 6 does. If the team's not performing enough, I'll try putting Nylander back on the top line, just going top heavy. Third line there, he brought back JVR. He's playing with Phillips there in the middle, Roberts on the right wing. Fourth line, you got Parise, Lundstrom, Maroon, which I don't think is too bad. Defensively here, we got Riley, Pesce on the top pair. Paid Pesce a ton of money, $7.5 million for 5 years. So hopefully that top pair works out for us. Second pairing, you got Brody and Liljegren. Bottom pairing, Timmins and McCabe. Looking at the goaltending here, we actually got Jeremy Swayman as our starter. So he's got a couple years left to grow, elite potential. I'm hoping he can actually be a stud for us back there. Joseph Woll backing him up is an 81. Looking at the power play, I think power play one's the exact same. I mean, it's pretty nasty. No reason to change it up. They get a +5 chem boost. Power play 2 again, -2. We'll see how they do. I actually have no defensemen, just all forwards. Hope for the best. First foreman there, second foreman. Actually, it's a -3. There was a time it was a -5 when I was playing around with it. I don't know why we're getting such bad chem on certain units. You look at the PKs here. I think overall pretty balanced. I've actually got Matthews and Marner on one, so don't usually have my top guys playing PK. But this team does lack a lot of depth, so I think we just have to. AHL-wise, I mean, they're looking pretty solid. You got Fraser Minton there, playing first-line center. I do really feel bad for him, just captain Team Canada, who of course lost to Czechia in round 1 of the quarterfinal. So maybe he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, help lead this Marlies team to Calder Cup. You got Gregor on the right wing, Ty Voigt second line, Dragachensev, Asher Simon there on the third line, Tyler Madden, Vesalainen we brought in. Look at the defense here, Villanueva, Merkley, who I think is going to be really good, Niemela, Bodwin, Kokkinen, Wu. Goaltending-wise, we got McAnemy, who was best goalie in the AHL last year. He'll be backing him up. So we'll see how these two teams do. Again, pretty optimistic for both. I feel like each of these teams should be making the playoffs. Now, before I show you guys the ratings for next season and get started with the sim, we first have to do a pretty big contract extension. Mitch Marner, currently making 10.9. What is he asking for? Okay, he's asking for 10.3. He's actually willing to take a pay cut. That's insane. We got 27 million extension dollars there. 7 years. I mean, because it's the beginning of the year, if he would take a big pay cut, 9 million, I think we got Nylander for like 8. Getting those guys at like really good contracts would help fill out the rest of this team. Tavares was making 11. He better take a big pay cut. 7 million 1 year. Okay, I think he wants to come back. So you do like the 85% rule or whatever. We'll try 6 million for 1. Can always just offer them more. Both of them actually did want extensions. Brody we signed for 1 year, so we can't extend. JVR, same thing. McCabe we could. I don't really think it's worth it. He's 82. I'll just kind of play that by ear. Matthew Knies playing first line could really pop off, so I want to get him under contract quick. 1.5 million, all he's asking for? Okay, so I'm looking at a long-term deal for him. Let's try 1.6 for 6. I think he's always going to be our top 9, so that should work out. Timmins, we don't really need to do that yet. Goalie-wise, Swayman we have. Wool we could extend here. He wants like no money. Honestly, yeah, 3 years for 875K. I feel like that'd be a great deal there for a backup goalie. And honestly, if Swayman doesn't play good enough, he can end up being the starter. Just as in that case, they just be trading Swayman away to save some money. But like I was saying here, guys, we're going to start with the sim. Looking at the ratings, we've got 97 offense and 92 defense, 86 goaltending. Let's see how this team does. And there we go, guys. Literally the next day after simming, Matthew Knies said yes. So 1.6 for 6, I think is an absolute steal for him. That's good for the rest of the franchise. Obviously, waiting to hear back from a couple of star players there. In Marner, in Tavares. They're waiting a little bit longer here. They're not so sure. Joseph Woll said yes. I think that contract too, under $1 million for 3 years is a great deal. And here you go. John Tavares said no. You must be joking. Okay, I thought we offered him maybe a little bit too low. That's okay. Mitch Marner said yes for $9 million. He actually took $1.5 million pay cut. That's amazing. Actually, sorry guys. Marner took almost a $2 million pay cut. That is awesome for us. Now Tavares was making 11. He's asking for 7.3 for 2. Okay, so for 2 years, I mean, we're saving a ton of money on him either way. We still have 18 million there. He signs this for 6.75, level about 11 million bucks to get, you know, some guys signed. Definitely Should be able to add some more depth to this team, especially too if we have some AHL players graduating. And there we go, guys. Tavares did say yes. I think that's a pretty fair contract. And look at this. Through 3 games, Matthews already got 5 goals. That's awesome. And look at this, guys. Mark Stahl is currently on waivers. I'll take a look at him. 1 year, league min, 78 overall. We don't need him, but that's kind of funny to see. Eric Gustafsson being offered us for Howden and Voigt. I think that's too steep of a price, especially since we don't really need him. All right, guys, we're now in December here with a record of 20-14-1, and we're not even in a playoff spot. Like the Atlantic Division is an absolute bloodbath. Senators there last place 32. They got the Red Wings 33. I mean, we are only 1 point out with a game in hand, but still, it's so tight. A few points back of the Bruins there for 3rd place. The Panthers are dominating. They got 52. Look at the Metro Division. The Capitals there also fighting for a wild card spot with 41 points. So we got to keep playing well. And unfortunately, we had like a 3-game losing streak there, which honestly is too much when it's this tight. AHL is, wow, they are so dominant. 22-5-2, 46 points. They're currently 1st place in the league. Maybe we'll actually win the Calder Cup this year. Gary Chenstead leading scorer, about a point per game. In terms of the NHL team, Matthews there's got 44 and 35 with 30 goals. He's just a scoring machine right now. Now, this is kind of insane, guys. Literally the season after winning the Stanley Cup, the Devils just fired their head coach. I don't know how that happens. We'll take a look and see how bad they're doing. Shout out to Deke. You win the cup, lose your head coach. Take a look here. I mean, they're 2nd last in the Metro, so it kind of makes sense. We're still fighting for a playoff spot, unfortunately, a few points back. And at the trade deadline, guys, we have a record of 31-23-6. So, like, a pretty solid record, but again, Atlantic Division is just so good. We're currently 4 points back in the wildcard spot in our division, but we have 2 games in hand, which is nice. 4 points back to the wildcard spot in the Metro. So, I mean, we're definitely right there. We have the Sabres between us. You look here. We actually were playing pretty good hockey aside from like a 4-game losing streak a couple weeks ago. AHL team are just insane. 48-4. This is actually like one of the best AHL teams I think I've ever had. And honestly, I did not expect that. But something's, clicking for that squad. Abruzzese there, 48-52. Also about a point per game. Matthews has 52 goals already at the deadline. Ridiculous. 82 points total. So we'll get to the deadline. I'm assuming we'll be like a conservative buyer. I can't go all out just in case we miss. It wouldn't make a ton of sense, but hopefully we can, find our way in. Look at the star players here. You got Zach Hyman. It would be kind of funny to bring him back. $5.5 million for 90 overall is actually like a really good deal. Anze Kopitar, Anderson, Deneau, Konechny's there. Chris Letang, Tavares on the block apparently for us. Jacob Chikrin, Brian Russ, Alexander Yorgi. Speaking of goalies, should take a look and see Swayman's stats here, because if he's not giving us above 900, it really doesn't make sense to be paying him that, especially when, he could flip him. Marner's values above Matthews now, although it looks like they're pretty much equal. So let's take a look here, guys. Swayman, 905-314. Okay, so he is above 900. I think I can hold on to him, but goals against, we definitely want to get down. Maybe need to bring in some more defensemen. Riley's a plus 25, though. Pesci's a plus 19, so that top pair at least is working. And I just checked, guys. Really, only bad D pair is the bottom one. Timmins a -7. McCabe's a -8, so maybe can try and shore that up. And Nylander on the second line, still putting up like over a point per game. So I feel like that is working. Obviously, Matthews is popping off. Marner, too. He's got 75 and 60. Take a look at Matthew Nyes. 15 goals, 27 assists. I don't mind that. All right, guys. So right now we're trying to get small trade the Anaheim Ducks to get Frank for Toronto on the trade block. 84 overall, making $3.6 million. Didn't have a ton of value on an expiring deal. Had them retaining 50%. Offering up Moldenhauer here, 2073 medium top 9. Probably never makes the team. Rupe Vester in here, we just drafted. 1957 medium top 9. Another guy that probably doesn't make it. Adding a 7th round pick. The value's on our side. If we can get Vitrano for just like a couple of extra guys, I think it's definitely worth it. And the Ducks say yes. Okay, so I feel like, we needed some forward depth. Vitrano should give us that, but still looking for a defenseman. And now next year, guys, are trying to trade the Carolina Hurricanes to get Brian Dumoulin, just like Vitrano, have him at 50%, 83 overall, defensive defenseman, very solid defensive stats. So again, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Swayman's been playing well, goals against is still kind of high. I feel like we're producing offense. Howden here's a pretty good prospect, 1853 medium top 6, but Dumoulin be solid. I think too we could actually bring him back on the cheap. So I'm kind of looking at most likely keeping him. Value is slightly on their side, but they have him on the block. They like Howden, so I think they might just do this 1-for-1, and they do. So hopefully those moves there can actually, get us in that playoff spot. I feel like we're probably done unless I see something crazy. Also, too, guys, I should mention it's the Blackhawks that actually have our first round pick from the Jake McCabe trade. So hopefully we're in the playoffs and this isn't actually a lottery pick. All right, guys, after making that trade for Brian Dumoulin, we actually have an extra defenseman, and I saw that the Ottawa Senators have Jacob Chikrin on the block. Kind of surprised by this, but they're not doing too well. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I'm assuming he's going to go free agency. You guys can see he's got the in-reverse hit-to-tape X factors. Not scoring a ton, 3 goals and 9 assists. Also looks like he might be playing bottom pair for them for some reason, -13. Overall, though, like, his stats are solid. Basically, just very good all around. No holes in his game, nor is he amazing anywhere. Offering up Jake McCabe. He's been on that bottom pair for us. Not doing the best. Timothy Liljegren here, making $3 million for the next 7 years. Only need 2. I feel like maybe we could keep Chychrun or Dumoulin if we use that money. So, McCabe, Liljegren plus a 6 to get Jacob Chychrun. When you look at it as, like, Chychrun and Dumoulin for these two, I think, obviously, a big upgrade on D. Let's hear what the Senators say. The value's pretty equal. Trades rejected. Okay, they said quite far off. I actually thought it was kind of close. Let's try just doing a 4th round pick. They still say rejected. Quite close to fair value, though. All right. At this point, do we have that extra Montreal? We have that Montreal pick we got for the stupid tax. Will that actually get us Jacob Chychrun here? And it does. All right, so there you go. Jacob Chychrun, Dumoulin, and Vetrano out of the team. Obviously, all on expiring contracts. So hopefully we can make the playoffs with those guys and maybe even actually re-sign some in the summer. All right, guys, so the trade deadline's now over. As I mentioned, I feel like we made a few pretty solid moves there. So Jacob Chychrun trades at the top. You got Carson Lambos going to the Penguins. Nolan Allen to the Flyers. Peterson to the Blackhawks. Interesting. Our trade for Dumoulin. Guliev and Jean-Luc Foudy there, the Penguins. What the heck? The Avalanche get back a couple of picks. And Donovan, interesting. Chris Letang, the Canucks. Jordan Staal there to the Ducks. Brian Rust, the Capitals. You got Orlov going to the Wild with Michael Bunting. That's a big-time trade for Riley Heidt there in a 4th. You got Sebastian Aho, the defenseman. I was a little shocked at first. Going to Buffalo. Trevor Moore to the Wild. Eric Gostin goes back to the Blackhawks with Brent Burns. For Oliver Moore and Colton Dach. Jeez. Blackhawks apparently have already completed the rebuild since they're trading away solid prospects now. And I just noticed too, Vancouver gave up Willander a 2nd and Heel there for Letang. Pretty big move. Alright guys, so after the trade deadline, here's an updated look at the team. I've actually got JVR on the first line now with Matthews and Marner. Reason for that is he's got 40 points on the year in 60 games, only getting 13 minutes of ice time. I figured, why not give him a shot on that top line? Nice has a bit more than that, 42, but obviously a lot more minutes. Also too, I think JVR on the third line gives us -1, so might as well try that out. Second line's the same still. Third's now Vetrano, Phillips, and Nyes. 4th there is Maroon, Lundstrom, and Robertson. And now defensively here, guys, no change to the top pair. You got Riley and Pesci. Second pairing is now Brody and Chychrun, which I think is really solid. Then Dumoulin and Timmins on the bottom pair is also very good. No change to goaltending, of course. Power play 1's intact. I think power play 2, we got Chychrun on the point. Vetrano's added out front. And I think the biggest change is actually to the PK. I feel like somehow we actually lost some chemistry with it still. I think adding Dumoulin, adding Chychrun. I think we've even got Vetrano on the third unit. Should just help us, you know, keep the puck out of the net, which, like I said, I think was the main focus for this deadline, making the team better defensively. AHL team should still be the same. Their lines did get mixed up, so I try to do my best to put them back together. Best I could remember how they were, as obviously they're dominating right now, so I want to make sure they keep that up. Alright guys, so I just simmed the end of the regular season. We have a record there of 47, 28, and 7, so a really good year for sure. And because of that, we did make the playoffs. We're back in. I honestly was getting worried, but luckily after the trade deadline, we're honestly pretty dominant. Won our first 4 games, lost to the Blue Jackets, won a few more. After that loss, you know, a few more wins. You can see we ended the year with a couple big wins. 8-2 against the Devils, 5-0 against the Capitals for 101 points on the season. I feel kind of bad for the Bruins. You can see there, them and the Sabres both missed the playoffs with 94 points. And the Bruins actually had 94 points, 81 games left. All they had to do was win. Unfortunately, they lost. And the Penguins actually got the last wildcard spot, as they must have had the tiebreaker. You can see the Blue Jackets as well, getting first place there in the Metro. So clearly the NHL is changing. The Blackhawks first place in the Central. The Canadiens there, second in the Atlantic. Even Seattle there, top Pacific Division. Definitely kind of crazy to see how much the NHL has changed in just 2 years' time. Avalanche, second last in the Central, 75 points. Is pretty crazy too. AHL team, let's take a look. 51, 13, and 4. They are still insane. 106 points. Looks like they do win the AHL, so that's awesome. There's a few games left, but I don't think anybody can catch them. Abruzzese there's got 60 and 68. In the NHL, Matthews popped off. Oh my god. 72 goals. Austin Matthews, you are insane. 112 points. So, should be a lock for the Maurice Richard unless somehow Ovechkin did even better than that. Probably his only competition. Marner there at 102 with 73 assists. So, basically, he's assisting all Matthews' goals. Nylander at 89. Playing second line is pretty solid. Obviously, he's on the first power play. I do wonder, should we try, all 3 on the top line? Maybe if we get some more depth, we can do it. Tavares 77 is not bad. Morgan Riley 69. I feel like that's pretty nice for defensemen. JVR 51, same with Yarncroc. Nyes had 50. So, I mean, those 3 guys putting up 50 points, honestly, is huge for this team. Vetrano even here at close to 50 points. Let's see, with us, he had 18 points in 22 games, plus 11. Playing third line and second power play, having almost a point per game. That's actually so impressive. So, love seeing that. Matthew Phillips there at almost 50 as a third line center. Again, really impressed by a lot of these guys. I will say Nick Robertson's been a bit of a letdown. Only 28 points. He started on the third line. -11. He's making $2.5 million. he might be a guy I move on from if he does, have the value that warrants it. Jacob Chikrin here with us had 8 points, 22 games. I mean, producing a lot more than he did with the Senators, a third of the game, and he had 2/3 of the points. So I feel like he's definitely going to play better with us than he did with the Sens. Goaltender stats, Swayman, 5 shutouts there, that 9.12 save percentage, 2.92 goals against. He's making a case for why it made sense to, trade him and then sign him. Joseph Wolf, for some reason, I'm not really sure why he's doing so bad, below 900. Luckily, he's cheap, so can probably wait to hopefully, get better numbers from him. McAdam in the AHL, just dominant, 31 wins, 2 shutouts, a 9.26, 209. Even the backup, Hildeby, had a 9.24. And look at the rest of the AHL skaters behind Abrazizi. Master Simon there at a 59, Dargar Chance at 57. Gregor was close to 50, Fraser Minton at 45. Good chance he'll actually make the NHL next year. Could see him being like third-line center for us, taking over from Matthew Phillips. Ryan Merkley at 44, not bad. I was hoping for a bit better. Nimola here actually at 38. Could also call him up if he's a bit cheaper than Connor Timmins. Ends up being, also an 80 right on. And now look at the entire league here, guys. Johnny Gaudreau actually wins the Art Ross Trophy with 115 points. Matthews is only 3 behind with 12. You got Zegras, McDavid, Kucherov. I'm not going to lie. This looks like we had the scoring set to high, but it's actually on medium. Bedard had 101. Jeez, just tons of guys popping off. Leo Carlson, 101 points in his sophomore season. Jeez, 89 overall. What's Bedard up to? 94. That's kind of honestly insane just to see how many guys put up 100 there with the scoring only at medium. Adam Fox as well as a defenseman. He's probably winning the Norris. DeBrincat, you can see at 99. Matthews does win the Maurice Richard there. 72 goals, 12 more than Bedard. I kind of feel bad for him, but he'll eventually win it, I'm sure. And yeah, Adam Fox there led all defensemen in scoring. That's insane. With a plus 25 too. He's a lock there to get the Norris. Also, Morgan Riley did finish on the first page with 69. Looks like he was 8th in the entire league in terms of defensive scoring, so that's awesome. And then goaltending stats there, Vasilevsky had the most wins of 42. Jeremy Swayman, though, was 5th, 38. I wonder, his save percentage, 912. Varlamov was the best, 918, but I mean, he's not too far behind. Looks like Varlamov is actually a big reason for the Montreal Canadiens' success. And then goals against average here for a starter, also Varlamov, 259. So good for him and the Canadiens. Rookie skaters here, Matt Coronado, 75 points to the Flames. Actually outscored Macklin Celebrini at 71. He's probably a big reason, too, why the Blackhawks have so quickly turned things around. And look at this. In Michkov's debut, he actually got outscored by Cutter Gauthier. Now, he had a much worse plus-minus at minus 24, also averaging about 20 minutes a night. Michkov, 17, so looks like he's on the second line. Philly, though, should still, have a bright future. And now, in terms of the entire league here, guys, this is kind of nuts. Tampa Bay finishes first, Montreal second, so 2 Atlantic teams. Columbus third, so it's all East. Kraken fourth, and it's the Rangers, then us. So we were 6th in the entire league and 3rd in our division. I think that happens to us a lot. It's kind of insane, honestly. Boston and Buffalo 12 and 13 in the league, and they don't make it. That is just not fair. Winnipeg at 20. They had 84 points. They squeak in. The Devils. This is kind of nuts. The year after winning the Stanley Cup, finished last in the entire league. What happened to them? Maybe I'll have to take a look at that squad and see if it is what we expect, if it's the same or not. Goals forward, 2 behind the Canucks there for first in the NHL. Goals against, the Lightning are the best. We're nowhere to be seen, but we're also not one of the worst teams, so it must be in the middle. And now, like I was saying, guys, I want to look at the Devils roster to see how they finished last place. So the first line stacked, Meyer, Hughes, and Bratt. Second line's not bad, Toffoli, Hischier, Palat. Third line's also decent with Mercer there. They got Holtz on the 4th line. I'd probably have him playing second or third line instead of Palat or Fogle. Defensively, Siegenthaler, Marino, Nemec, Wallman, Hughes. Dougie Hamilton bottom pair makes absolutely 0 sense, but that's still a really good defense. And then goaltending, Schmid and Vanacek's not that bad. I am very surprised to see this team finishing last in the NHL. And in terms of the first round of the playoffs, guys, we have actually got an Original 6 rivalry matchup with the Montreal Canadiens. So this team finished second in the division with this defense. I mean, the Devils clearly is better. It's not terrible. It's got good depth, but they don't have a true number 1. Forwards-wise, I mean, the first line's sick. Caulfield, Suzuki, Doc. They got Gallagher there with Newhook and Slafkovsky in the second. Sean Farrell's on the team now. Dvorak, Anderson, Harvey Pinard, Evans, Heineman. In terms of the goaltending, Varlamov, as I mentioned, probably going to win the best of this year. Jake Allen backing him up. I mean, even Varlamov, though, only 83. On paper, the Devils team is so much better, and the Devils team's last in the NHL. This Montreal Canadiens team, second in the division. Just kind of crazy to see the difference in results for sure, but hopefully our team can get this done. I do think, I like our squad better. First 2 games here in Montreal at the Bell Center, and we get a 3-2 win and a 4-3 loss. I mean, both games are close, decided by 1 goal. We'll take 1 and 1 through 2. Losing game 3 there in Toronto, 3-1. Luckily answered back, 4-2 win. Head back to Montreal, game 5. 6-5 win. Again, very close games. Game 6 in Montreal, chance to close it out. And we do just that, 4-2 win. And we got the Tampa Bay Lightning now in the second round. All right, guys, so the Lightning here have Stamkos, Point, and Kucherov on their first line. So they're going top heavy, and it worked for them. They won the division as well as the entire league, I'm pretty sure. So maybe I should actually do the same next year and just have our top guys on that first line. I could actually make that change right now. Match, their first line with ours. They got this Maxim Groshev guy. I'm not sure when they drafted him, but he's playing second line with Sorelli and Hagel, Sherry, Cousins, Janot, Bailey, Forche, Silverberg. Defensively, Hedman, Sergachev, Chernik, DeHaan, Kuliachonic, and Perbix. Goaltending, of course, they got Vasilevsky, Allenfelt there backing them up. So the Lightning team looks good. Like I mentioned, the fact that, they did so well with that top-heavy line. I mean, JVR had 4 points in 6 games in the first round. Let's see, Yarncroc, 2 assists. Tavares, 2 assists. Nylander was still a point per game, but a -4. Maybe we do mix it up. Just go top-heavy. Nylander, Matthews, Marner. Try JVR there on the second line with those guys and see what happens. The first 2 games here, guys, are in Tampa. And we get a 4-3 OT loss. Luckily, answer back 3-1 win. Head to Toronto now, tied up 1 apiece. And 4-1 loss, 4-1 win. Okay, so it's 2-2. Game 5's in Tampa. 2-0 loss. A do or die at this point. Like I said before, I feel like we have a solid team. And unfortunately, Tampa Bay is better. Beat us in 6. AHL team, though, maybe they're still alive. It looks like they are. I think they got the Providence Bruins here in the conference final. They actually beat the reigning Calder Cup champion, Belleville Senators, in 4 games in the first round. They then beat the Rocket there in 5. Moving on, like I said, to face the Providence Bruins. We got the home ice advantage. Won our first 3 games. Potential sweep here. And we do sweep the Bruins. Wow, okay. So, AHL team moving on to the Calder Cup final. And we got the Bakersfield Condors here. First couple games, 1 loss, 1 win. Next couple games here, another loss, another win. Game 5 is pivotal, and we get the win. So, chance to take home the Calder Cup in year 2 with the Marlies in Bakersfield right now. And we're up 2-0. Madden and Steves, we're up 4-0. Ty Voigt, Fraser Minton, a couple of young guns who I think should be making the team in, not too distant future. Anderson there makes it 5-0. Let's go. Dargachentsov made it 6. Unfortunately, Chase on there. Means we don't get the shutout for McAnemy, but that's okay. McAnemy as well is going to be winning back-to-back Calder Cups with 2 different teams. That's pretty sick. I'm just kind of curious, guys, how do our AHL teams match up? I see they actually have a couple guys with X factors. Also, too, Edmonton was able to draft Give a Hard Dude. He might end up being nasty for them. Our team, though, 80, 78, 78. There's a 77, 75, 79. So, on paper, much better. I ended up just taking control because, we're up 6-1. A minute left. I don't think it's going to matter too much. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There you have it, guys. Toronto Marlies, Calder Cup champions in year 2. Unfortunately, no Stanley Cup. We'll take the Calder Cup early on. We're actually never able to win this with the San Jose Barracuda, which is pretty crazy since they literally won it in year 1 in this sim without probably making hardly any moves. But good to see that. Hopefully, the NHL team can take some inspiration from this and try and get that elusive Stanley Cup. And right here, guys, you have the captain lifting the Calder Cup. I'm trying to think who the captain is. I want to say it's Noah Gregor. Yes, it is. I feel like he's one of the older guys on the team, so it just made sense to me. And now, unfortunately, unlike the Stanley Cup, the Calder Cup, you don't get to choose who lifts it, so it's all kinds of random guys. I feel like that might be Fraser Minton lifting it there, just judging off the face. It is Fraser Minton. Okay, so good guess by me. The goalie, McAnemy, as I said, back-to-back Calder Cups for him. Very cool. Big reason, for this win. And next here, guys, of course, you have the classic Calder Cup pick. Not quite as cool as the Stanley Cup pick, but we'll take it. And look at this, guys. The playoffs are now complete, and the Vancouver Canucks actually won the Stanley Cup. I saw that they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games, so if we would have beat Tampa, maybe that would have been us in the final playing the Canucks. Ottawa there, picking first overall. Jumped from 7. Devils, though, able to hold on to the second pick at least. And wow, Washington jumps from 14 to 4. What a massive leap. They go from getting like an okay prospect to a top 5 medium elite guy. That is huge. Mitch Marner there, a playoff leading scorer. He had 15 points in 12 games. Take a look at everybody else as well, too. I'm curious to see the AHL team who kind of popped off. Nylander also over a point per game. I think that first line was working. Matthews, around a point per game, but he had 7 goals. Rally had 7. Take a look at Swayman's numbers. Solid, not amazing, but solid. McAnemy at 9-2 with a 217. Very impressive. Ty Voigt was about a point per game. Okay, that's awesome to see. Actually better in the playoffs than regular season. Hopefully, he's 78 now, maybe not too long time. He'll be in the NHL. Merkley had 15. Fraser Minton, 12. He's another guy, like I said, could jump up. And now looking at the playoff tree here, guys, as I mentioned, Tampa Bay lost the Canucks in 7. They beat the Islanders in 5 after beating us. Canucks there beat the Kings in 6, Flames in 5, and then the Blackhawks in 5. Bedard almost made the Stanley Cup final in his second year. Of course, the AHL, kind of already know our road to it. And now looking at the awards here, I think we already know all the team awards. Individually here, Johnny Gaudreau got the Art Ross Trophy. Kucherov, though, got the Hart. I thought maybe Matthews, 72 goals, could have won it. Unfortunately, no. Fox, James Norris, we knew that was happening. Johnny Gaudreau's got the Lady Bing. Coronado, Calder, JT Miller, Conn Smythe, Varlamov, Vasilevsky, though, got the William Jennings. Okay. I thought Varlamov had the lowest goals against. Bill Masters in there. Went to Hakanpää. Seattle coach there got the Jack Adams. Lindholm there got the Selke with the Sharks. If he signed with them after, like, going to free agency this season, that'd be crazy. Kucherov, Ted Lindsay, and of course, Matthews. Back-to-back Maurice Richard. The one good thing about this team is you can always count on Matthews to score goals. AHL-wise, we won the Calder Cup. We also won the regular season. And, of course, won the Eastern Conference back-to-back years. Individually here, Jimmy Snuggerud, most points and MVP. Demidov, most goals. Snuggerud was also the best rookie. Bruce Wicks there was best defenseman. Chris Drieger, best goalie. Ty Voigt was MVP of the playoffs. Like I said, hopefully it's a good sign of things to come. Demidov, sportsmanship, Sealer, community involvement, and then McInerney actually lowest goals against. And now next year, guys, we'll take a look at retired players. Jeff Carter there calls it quits with the Devils. Mark Giordano is well retired. I was really surprised he didn't retire last year, to be honest. Okposo, Anisimov, Advocator. Okay, so most of these guys aren't even really playing anymore. May just be RB Svensson. That's a name I haven't seen in a long time. Goaltending, Jonathan Quick with the Islanders. Oh my goodness. With how well he's playing with the Rangers, that would be so strange to see him jump to the Islanders and then retire. And now next year, guys, it's time to enter the NHL Entry Draft. As I mentioned, if you remember, we don't have a first or a second round pick, so unfortunately not going to be involved early here unless we make a move. The Devils have the second pick on the block after winning the Stanley Cup last year, finishing last place this year, and firing their coach. I don't know about that move. I guess they feel, you know, they just won the Cup, they can get back in. Samu Laxo, medium franchise, going to go first overall. It's a created guy, which means the Devils are willing to trade the Misa pick. I mean, that's kind of insane to me. We could make a move to try to land Michael Misa. I feel like the value, though, we'd have to go up Nylander or something crazy. Hagens as well as high elite. Yarrow Hay there, Banak. Take a look at gems. You got Reimer, guaranteed low elite, going to go like 4th round, I think that is. You got this guy, Jasper Inkinen. Could be a high elite. He probably isn't, though, but 52. Same with Laxinen. Klingsel, interesting. Will Sharp, I'm pretty sure, is like a medium top 4. Now looking at all the guaranteed medium elites, you got William Moore here. Good chance to be medium elite. Going to go late first. Again, we're not picking there, but you never know. Zachary Morin, same thing. Gabriel Daigle, end of the 2nd round. I mean, we have Swayman. We probably don't need him, but that's such a good value for him, especially if he has medium elite, maybe even highly potential. I am using Vasi's latest roster, so I'm not sure, you know, if he's edited any of the potentials or not for the prospects. This is actually a pretty good find by our scouts. Mason McCulloch, I think that's how you'd say it. Guaranteed low top 6, gonna go like 6th or 7th round. I mean, at that point, like, that's just straight value. Oh my god, guys, look at this. The Senators took Michael Misa over the medium franchise. Wow, okay. I think we have to try and make a play right now with the Devils. This could be ridiculous. I think it's got to involve Berkeley Catton, and they'll probably cost us more than that as well. Matthew Nyes now in 83. Fraser Minton I kind of want to hold on to. Nick Robertson I mentioned not really needing anymore, as he didn't really play the best for us. So Catton, Robertson, and a 2026 first round pick, assuming, you know, we're going to be good. Would the Devils move number 2 for Catton, Robertson, and a first? Let's see. They're in turmoil right now. They went from a cup to last place, fired the coach. I've said it a few times. And they say yes. Wow. Okay. I'm sure some people aren't going to like that one, but honestly, the Sens took Misa. They passed on the franchise. I figured it'd just be fun. Samu Laxo here. Medium franchise potential, Finnish player. Similar style Patrick Kane. You can see he's got a few X factors there. NHL ready. He's going to be the next Leafs legend. Out of the draft, 84 overall. He's a sniper. Wow. Okay, so we could put him first line, Matthews and Marner. Could put him on the second there with Tavares. I mean, he's already got 93 everything shot. That's insane. And so at this point, guys, we're going to send to our next pick, number 88. I feel like I'm pretty happy with the franchise guy. The rest of the 2025 draft, you're curious. Hagens went 3rd there at the Coyotes. Banak 4 to the Washington Capitals. You got Eklund to the Red Wings. Hensler to the Flyers. Gavin to the Avs. Hay there, the Carolina Hurricanes. 77 medium elites. Not bad at all. I think after that, mostly high top 6. Medium elite. Lettinen, though, 77 medium elite. Backo, 79 medium elite. Jeez. Edmonton, Buffalo, both get pretty good picks. Now you can see the Devils did get Malcolm Spence, first pick in the 2nd round, so at least they got, you know, a young player. I still can't believe they said yes to that offer. I didn't think they were going to, even with it on the block. Sharpless actually got high top 6 potential now. Interesting. Daigle, he did lower from high elite to medium elite. Going late 2nd to the Carolina Hurricanes. Montreal Canadiens get a medium elite goalie as well. Andronov, 72 medium elite, same as Daigle. Jeez, so a couple of really good goalies there. They're both in the East, of course. Montreal's in our division getting one. Alright, so not going to be, you know, any easier for us, but that's alright. I think here, Bob Camper might not be terrible, but honestly, I might be eyeing this Ilya Mikhnov guy. NHL ETA guaranteed 2 years. Could be medium elite. Let's take a chance on him. And 70, oh my gosh, he is medium elite. What a pick. 70 overall, medium elite, end of the third round. This might be my best pick ever. I don't think I've ever gotten a medium elite that's this high rated outside the first round. Usually if you draft an elite prospect after the first round, they're in the 60s at best. More often than not, they're in the 50s. This guy being a 70 medium elite, and he's a playmaker. Like, hey, when the other guy we just drafted second overall could be a future duo. That is insane. Ilya Mikhnov, wow. And it's not showing right now, but I'm pretty sure he's from Lithuania, so definitely has the potential to be the best Lithuanian hockey player of all time. And our next pick here, guys, in the fourth round, wow, the second overall pick being a franchise, and then the late third being a medium elite. With this pick, probably going to go Reimer, the guaranteed low elite gem. He's next up here in terms of our pins. Wakabayashi there, guaranteed low top 4, going to go late. And this Volkun goalie, probably medium starter, going to go very late too. Now, Reimer is low elite. 55 overall, not bad. Flames offering us Martinez rights, essentially, because he's expiring, and a 6th for a 5th. I'm just going to say no. We have enough, like, defensemen to already try and re-sign. And so next here, guys, Wakabayashi is actually the next highest. Actually, sorry, central scouting would be McCulloch, so we'll take him. Guaranteed low top 6. Only a 49 overall, but still not terrible. With our next pick here in the 5th, Calgary is offering us basically the same offer, but for the later 5th round pick. Again, I'm going to say no. I want both of the guaranteed guys, so Wakabayashi there. Let's see his rating. 55, low top 4, end of the 5th. I think that's pretty good. We actually don't have a pick, so let me get back in the draft to try and get that goalie. Alright guys, so I'm offering the Red Wings a 7th round pick in 2027 for the last pick in the draft. They said yes. Again, it's the last pick. They know they have nowhere to go but up. Luckily though, I feel like we're going to get a really solid player here. Mr. Relevant. Hopefully he could actually eventually make the NHL. Volkun, I just saw there's actually another guy there we could take in Macmillan. Could be medium top 6. Probably isn't though if he's that low ranked. I'd rather take a chance on Volkun from the Czech Republic. Medium fringe starter. I mean, last pick in the draft's not bad. Again, Laxo, medium franchise, 2nd overall. And then Mikhnov, 70 overall, medium elite, end of the 3rd. I think I was more excited for that pick just because I honestly did not expect him to be elite. I was thinking probably medium top 6 or low elite. And then to be 70 overall, just insane. All right, guys, so the re-sign phase here with just under $27 million in cap space. Our top 6 players all under contract. Chikrin's 86, wants to come back with us. I'd like to have him back. I mean, 5.65 for 86 is actually a really fair ask. Could we extend it? 6 years. He's asking for a little bit more. Not that much, though. If he would say yes to like a 5.5 by 6, pay him until he's 33, not have to worry about it, I'd be very happy with that. Yarncrux down 85. 1 year left at 2.1. I should mention, too, like Riley jumped up in rating from 88 to 90 overall, which is awesome to see. JVR's down 85. Was on a really good deal. He now wants 3.6, which isn't that much. He played well. He's 36, though. Laxo, the medium franchise, 84 overall at draft. Obviously, he's getting a max deal. He's immediately going to make our team so much better. But Toronto wants to come back. 3.3. He was almost a point per game for us, so I'll definitely consider it. TJ Brody, what's he looking for? 4.6. Let me take a look at the defenseman here and see just how this is going to break down. So, like to bring Chikrin back. Brody, probably a 1 year. You got Dumoulin, Timmins. Niemela could take over Timmins' spot. I think, you know, he's 23, 78. He's got the chance. He's asking for, he thinks he's going to make the team. He's asking for $1 million. So we're just going to qualify him this year. What's Timmins want? 1.8. I'm just going to qualify him as well. We can bury all of that if Niemela does take his spot. Dumoulin, he wants almost $5 million. I think for the price, it makes a lot more sense just to keep Brody. So gonna let Dumoulin go. He was playing bottom pair anyway, in which case, though, definitely we'll try and keep Brody here. Maybe do a 4.25 for 1 season. And now look at some more forwards here, guys. Matthew Phillips was 82 overall now. If he wants like a cheap deal, I'll bring him back. He wants 2.6, though. I think that's just too rich for me. We can find somebody else a lot cheaper. Lundstrom's an 80 now. Parisi at 40, I think we can just let go. He was scratched anyways. Maroon, if he's like a league min, I wouldn't mind being back. 4th line winger. I mean, 1 year, $1 million. He does have 5-star physical. I think that's actually okay deal. Abrazizi here up to a 79 at 26. He was a beast in the AHL. I'll give him a couple of years there at 775k just in case he does grow to an 80. That's a line that wasn't bad either. I mean, AHL team just won the Calder Cup. League min for 2 years. You might as well bring him back. Try and see if the AHL team can repeat. And now looking at goalies here, guys, both Swayman and Wooler under contract. Swayman's actually an 88 now, which is awesome to see. McAnamy just led us to a Calder Cup, his 2nd. So definitely league min for 2 years. He is asking for way too little. We'll do that. Hill to be there, 23.76. Lennon, same rating, 3 years younger, I think, at this point. Hill to be low starter potentially. He did have good numbers. I mean, we could sign him. Just look to trade him. League him in for 2 years is quite cheap. Maybe try and trade Akhtamov. Also, too, I saw you guys saying how Liv, he actually has a pretty interesting story. His dad was actually part of the Russian team whose plane crashed some years ago now, and I think he ended up playing for the same team his dad did. So very, very cool. Hopefully, he can eventually be a player for us. Wow, Patrick Maroon, not content with the amount of minutes he played. I'm pretty sure his role is literally fourth line. He was playing fourth line, so that makes no sense. Jacob Chikrin, though, said yes. That was a pretty good value contract for us. TJ Brody wants more money. Gregor said yes. I think the rest of these guys are pretty much just all AHL contracts. Apart from Laxo, obviously, our second overall pick can be the NHL. All right, guys, I'm going to try offering TJ Brody 4.4, just a bit more money. I feel like he should say yes. We'd still have $19 million left after that, so I think we could get JVR Vetrano. Like, for $3.5 million, JVR, he played well. Should have a spot for him. And I'm going to make Vetrano an offer here, guys. 2 years, $3.3 million. Again, he was almost a point per game for us playing third line, so might as well give him a chance to come back. And there we go. He said yes. Same with JVR and TJ Brody. That leaves us with $14.5 million in cap space. We could still sign a superstar player. Ideally, probably a defenseman. Although, honestly, our top four is pretty solid. It's more so we need to strengthen the bottom D pair. We've already got our starting goalie. I think forward-wise, we are good as is, but obviously, always looking to add more. And honestly, too, we probably could use 1 or 2 fourth liners, assuming we lose Pat Maroon, but can end up signing him in free agency once, no one else makes him an offer. All right, guys, so it's now the first day of free agency. Very curious to see who's available as we actually have some money to spend. Shea Theodore, wow, 89 overall. Him and Morgan Riley as 2 offensive defensemen would be unreal. 29 there. He wants 11.4 million though, which would be pretty much all of our money. Travis Konechny, I thought about maybe making a trade for. He was on the trade block, but had too much value. He wants 11 million. Probably really couldn't have afforded him. Marchessault, 5.5, asking for way less than he did last year. I guess he just signed a 1-year deal. Let's see, who's he with? St. Louis Blues, 53 points, a minus 26. Interesting. I mean, he's a playmaker. We don't really have too many of those. He's a guy we could potentially get. I mean, former Conn Smythe winner. Mangiapane there. You got Sharangovich. Tyler Bertuzzi wants 7. Alexander Romanov wants 8. I mean, for an 85, you might as well just go all the way there and pay Shea Theodore 11.4. Interesting ask by him. Voronkov wants 3.3. Okay, so definitely some options here. Kim Atkinson, couple $1 million is a very good deal, but I think we need more like defensive forwards at this point than scorers. And now David Savard's available, guys. 34, 82 overall. Last year he's playing a lot of minutes with the Montreal Canadiens. Defensive defenseman, 88 D awareness, 89 shot block. It's kind of what we're looking for on that bottom D pair. Only going to cost 2.2 million, so he's definitely a guy I might make an offer on, but going to wait a minute. TJ Oshie as well, 2-way forward. Defensively could be better though. Ethan Bear here, 81 overall, only wants $1 million. I mean, him and Savard on the bottom pair would actually be a pretty, cheap option to fill in there. And so yeah, guys, we're gonna offer Savard exactly what he's asking, 2.2 million. Bear, I'm gonna offer, I don't know. He's got somebody else interested, 1.15. Looking at goalies here, Linus Ullmark's available, 87. So Swayman's actually higher rated than him now. 2-way goalies, just in case there's somebody insane. There isn't though. Now looking at 2-way players, are you kidding me? Daniil Boot, 2076. What are the Coyotes thinking? What are they actually thinking? Again, I'm going to try and get him and trade him back. I just don't understand. He's 76 at 20. Medium top 6. Even Simashev. What? Wait, the Coyotes just didn't sign their 2 first-round picks from last year's draft in real life. Look how the team's interested. Like, what the heck? Now, Nestorenko here, guys, could be a sick AHL player. 23-78, medium top 9. He's a playmaker. Pretty solid offensive stats. I believe he was drafted by Minnesota. I'll make him an offer. 3 years there, 900K. Again, just thinking he could tear up the AHL. And Jonathan Castana here caught my eye. 20 years old, 69 overall, 2-way forward. He's got pretty solid defensive stats. I think maybe this guy could end up being a 3rd or 4th liner for us. So, again, I'll make max deal 3 years. You got, like, Richards there, even Rohrer, a bit higher rated, but because they're offensive players, I don't know if they'll actually get good enough to make the team. All right, guys, so I just finished all the 2-way contracts. I was thinking, even if we get Savard and Bear, we're still going to have over $10 million in cap space. Shea Theodore we could potentially get. I just don't know where he plays because Riley's on the top here with Pesci. We then have Chikrin. It's a lot of money tied up to a guy when you already have Riley. I just don't think it makes sense for us. Konechny I'd like, but not at that price. I think 11 million for 88 is too expensive. Even at 1 year, he still wants, almost 10 million. I think 3 years is the cheapest at 925, but probably doesn't say yes. Looks like the Devils are interested. They're just going crazy right now. So I was thinking maybe get a couple Stanley Cup champs. Like I said, Marchessault, Conn Smythe winner. And then another guy actually was offered to us a little bit further down here, Martinez. A 1-year deal because he's 37. He's got 99 shot blocking. Again, we just want to keep the puck out of the net. He's kind of like, an upgrade on Bear, but maybe we don't get him. If we do, I think Bear would just be a sick player in the AHL or something. So Let's offer Martinez. No one else is interested. I would do 1 year, 475. And then for Marchessault, I think what he's asking is honestly a steal, like I said. I would really like him. So 575 for 2. Kind of surprised we actually like have the cap space to do this. Again, kind of go shorter term because could be better players available in the future. And now next you guys are trying to make a trade to the Avalanche again, just dumping contracts to make sure we have enough. So you got Bodwin here who we signed. I think we don't need him on defense anymore. Steve's currently qualified, hasn't signed yet. Wu there, we also signed last year. Same with Anderson, Vesalainen. Those guys are basically good for 1 year. If we get a Sharks third rounder from the Avs, that'd be huge. And they said yes. Wow, so it worked out well. Also, too, guys, look at the Avs team. Obviously, they have 3 players there, basically max value in McKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen. Makar as well, up to high franchise potential. But what's kind of crazy is we've got the same now with Matthews, Alaxo, and Marner. Like, how ridiculous is that? Even Nylander there, if he keeps playing well, he could end up having max value too. I think, you know, him and Marner, especially with those really good contracts, probably improving their value even more. So it looks like the team's in a very good spot right now. And right there you can see that Mikhnov guy. Still cannot believe we drafted him. Wow, this is crazy, guys. The Devils, after we kind of stole that franchise player from them, are now trying to gift us 2 third-round picks for Villanueva. Obviously, he's a solid AHL defenseman, but he's an AHL defenseman. Then they want him with a 5th and a 7th for 2 thirds. Take a look here, 23.77. I don't see him getting any higher than like an 80 maybe, and we get 2 third-round picks back. I gotta say yes to this. I feel like it's a no-brainer. Dylan DeMello getting offered to us right now. He wouldn't be too bad, but obviously already have offers out on a few defensemen. There we go, guys. Jonathan Castagna, he accepted an offer. He was one of the 2-way forwards. There we go, guys. David Savard said yes to the contract. Same with Ethan Bear and Martinez. So I think at this point, Bear's in the AHL, but honestly, I wasn't thinking we'd have the money to get Martinez. Nestorenko said yes. Simishev there appreciates the interest. I go with another team. That's okay. I was just going to trade him back to the Coyotes anyways. Boot, though, said yes, so I'll make sure they at least get him. All right, guys, so sending Boot back to the Coyotes. Again, 7th rounder in, like, a future year. Stupid tax. I wish I could have gave them Simishev as well, but of course he signed with Boston, I think it was, so our division just keeps getting better. And there we go, guys. Marchessault did say yes, so a couple of Vegas Golden Knights there. I'm curious how much cap space we have at this point. Still have 3.7, which isn't bad, and Shea Theodore's still there. And his assets come down to 9.5. Again, would have been nice to sign him, but I just think doesn't really have a place on our team. And now next you guys are trying to trade the Buffalo Sabres, offering up Connor Timmins, who we don't need anymore. And he still hasn't signed his qualifying offer, along with Akhtamov here. I can't say his name right, but one of our low starter goalies, and a 4th round pick, 2027. Oslin's on the block, 21.78. 2-way forward, I think could be a future, you know, bomb 6 player for us. Value's pretty equal, see what they say. Trades rejected. Honestly, we did just get 2 thirds from the Devils. We got 3 in this year's draft. Let's offer up one of the thirds, Timmins, and the goalie. They still say no. Try throwing that 4th back in with the 3rd. Now they say yes. So I think that was, you know, pretty good for us, as long as Austin ends up being a player. And now next year, guys, I'm offering a couple players to the Islanders for a 5th round pick. They're just extras in the AHL. Tyler Madden, 25.77. Holmberg, 26.78. We just have younger players with similar ratings that are actually going to get the ice time in the AHL. See what the Islanders say. Trades accepted. So basically a free pick there. Again, you can see no 1st or 2nd, but at least we have a good amount of mid-rounders. And now let's look at the roster, guys. We still could use a 4th line forward. I'm thinking Lars Eller, 81 overall. Solid defensive stats there, like 90 stick checking. Physical's not that bad either. Should be, you know, a decent player, especially on a 1-year deal. Philly's also interested. All right, we have the cap space. It's a bit more than I normally pay, but there we go, guys. Lars Eller did say yes. I think he should be a really solid 4th line center. And now this is kind of funny, guys. Let's look around the league for different trades we could potentially do. Not really seeing much, but the Pittsburgh Penguins, after trading away Letang, signed Shea Theodore. So they constantly want just the best offensive defenseman. Him and Carlson, same team. That could be deadly. All right, guys, we're about to start next season. I'll show you what the team is looking like. Really optimistic about next year. I think we could be Stanley Cup contenders. So first line looking nasty. We got Laxo, 2nd overall pick, 84 medium franchise at 18. I'm hoping he can win the Calder Trophy. Play on the first line there with Matthews and Marner, 96 and 94 respectively. I mean, can't really ask for better line mates than that. Second line, you got Marchessault playing with Nylander, who's actually playing center now, and Yarncroc. Third line there, you got Vetrano, Tavares, and JVR. So, I mean, already the depth so much better on this team than last year. Fourth line, you got Matthew Nye, Lars Eller, Isaac Lundstrom. Again, just to kind of show you the depth. Matthew Nye was on the first line last season. This year, he started on the 4th. Defensively here, we got Riley Pesci, still is our top pair. Brody Chicker on the 2nd. Brody's down to 82, so probably his last year with us. But then have Martinez, Savard on the bottom pair. I was actually looking at it too. I think every one of our defensemen is above 30 years old except for Jacob Chikrin, so wouldn't be a bad idea to get some younger D-men in the mix. Swayman there starting till 88. Woolback and Up's an 81. Goaltending in the AHL, McInerney starting at 80 overall. Hildeby's now at 79. You look at the forwards here, you got Abrazizi who's an 80, playing with Fraser Minton. Gregor, I think everyone else in the AHL, 78 plus. So they look pretty stacked again. Defensively, Ethan Bear's an 81 there with Niemela, who could make the team next season. Merkley, Kokkinen, Koster, Adam Jarachek finally playing. You might be wondering too, why is Bear in the AHL? Well, I tried him on the second pairing with both Martinez and Savard. Each time got negative chemistry, so I figured we'll just keep the two veterans in the NHL, and maybe Bear gets called up if there's a trade, or if not, could definitely move him at the deadline. So looking at the teams, I think, like I said, both should be cup contenders. AHL team trying to repeat, NHL team trying to win their first cup in 50 plus years now. But lastly here, guys, I'll show the ratings for next season. We've got 100 offense now, 94 defense, 87 goaltending. We'll see if we finally get lucky in season number 3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Goodbye.